tell you more about how Laserfiche 9 helps you increase acceleration through agility, I'm pleased to welcome Vice President of Strategic Services Jared Cheatham and Regional Director of Laserfiche Strategic Services Canada, Andrew Brown, back to the stage.
You feeling all right? You know, in previous years, normally it's I'm the one that's so tired in the morning, but you're looking a little tired yourself. Did you stay up too late dancing at the special event last night, maybe?
Well, you left early, and, well, where did you hear about that?
Well, I heard it through the grapevine. Oh, that stomach made that joke made my stomach hurt.
Yeah, I think we need to get some new writers for next year.
I think we need to get some new actors for next year.
That might be a good idea. All right, so let's get serious, Andrew. Yesterday, you did a pretty good job of convincing me that this conference is, helped to empower Laserfiche over the years, and in turn, with Laserfiche 9, we're able to empower our customers on a daily basis. How are you going to build on that this morning?
Well, just to be clear, yesterday I didn't do a pretty good job. I think I did an astounding job. But this year, I think we're really going to focus on agility.
you really like, that's sort of, is your mantra, right? You do this and say agility in that weird voice, and it means something?
It's kind of like a yoga stretch. Yeah, that's funny, but I'm being serious. Laserfiche is an agile ECM solution, right? So that means Laserfiche can help the organizations that use it become more agile. That's why I'm saying we should focus on agility. You know what I'm talking about here. Shared services, integrated middleware, central point of control. That's what I'm talking about when I say agility.
You left this out, right? Laserfiche is an agile ECM solution to help our customers be more agile, and that agility will make them even more agile, and a lot of this.
You know, at this point, I'm really happy we don't work in the same country anymore. Why are you giving me such a hard time about this?
Well, I mean, so I believe Laserfiche is an agile ECM solution, but I'm just not sure I understand your concept of agile fully. Are you suggesting that agility should be the goal, or is being agile how you get to the goal? And if so, what is that goal, and why is agile so important?
You know, at this point, we've been doing this for a number of years, and we talk on a regular basis. Very rarely do I know what I'm talking about. I'm normally just making it up as I go along, so you're asking all these questions about what I'm talking about. I don't know why you're giving me such a hard time about this.
Like always, I'm trying to find a way to take what you said and have it actually make sense for everybody. To make the goal of focusing on agility actually mean something. I mean, are you even familiar with like the agile methodology?
Yeah, I am. I love agile.
I'm trying to be serious now.
Okay.
Unlike every other time we've been talking.
Okay, serious.
So agile is a project management methodology that was originally created for software development, but we've used it at Laserfiche for a bunch of different departments, for sales, pre-sales, marketing, and software development, of course. We've used it to, over and over again to take groups that have historically been reactive and sort of barely holding it together and turn them into, proactive contributors to the business.
Yeah, and that sounds really interesting. And I'm guessing, because we're up on stage, and there are a bunch of people in the audience, and I've got a mic on, and that there are giant screens up here, that we're going to relate this to Laserfiche 9 at some point?
I think so.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So every department at Laserfiche that has adopted Agile has needed to modify the methodology to suit their needs. But there are 3 tenets of the methodology that are absolutely necessary to make it work.
And again, stage, mics, screens, you're probably going to share what these 3 tenets are with us?
Of course.
That's great.
All right, so in order to be successful with Agile, you need to be willing to fail fast as a team. You need visibility, transparency, and accountability as a team. And you need to continuously refine what you're doing as a team. Right? So the thing is, with Agile, you're working within a relatively short time period that we call a sprint. And we're trying to get things done, and at the end, then you reflect back and you look at what went well, what didn't go well, and you talk about how you could improve things. And if you can keep it up for a little while, you can affect significant change in an organization really quickly. And that practice of continuous improvement is pretty addictive. So if we can take that and apply it to Laserfiche 9, we've got something.
I think I can help you out, sir. So what you're talking about is a continuous, sustained focus on making improvement. But it's actually making improvement on business processes.
That's what I'm talking about? Of course that's what I'm talking about, right?
Okay, so this is perfect. We can take what you've done and what Laserfiche 9 provides to give everyone a recipe for a significant and sustainable impact on their organization. So let's go back to those 3 tenets you mentioned, and we'll kind of do them one by one. So why is it so important that we're willing to fail fast?
Okay, so for me, the obvious answer is that the biggest problem most organizations face is inertia. People spend more time talking about what should be done to fix a problem than it actually takes to do something about it. In my own departments, we're always quick to come up with a solution, but then we're even quicker to come up with a bunch of reasons why that won't work or why we should do something else. I think sometimes it takes like a real renegade to actually just do something that they know is right and then prove to everyone else that it would work. So with Agile, we're encouraged to run with an idea because you're going to evaluate whether it's working or not at the end of the sprint. And if it isn't, it's no big deal. You'll make changes or you'll try something else. The only thing that's actually discouraged are those long, boring, pointless meetings where nothing gets done.
So with Laserfiche, and bear with me here, in order to quickly try out a new idea for process improvement, and we don't want to involve a programmer or some sort of advanced technical resource, if people had something like that, they might be more willing to try new things without worrying about failing or getting it right the first time. So let's see. What do we have that meets that criteria? I feel like maybe I taught a class on this yesterday. Okay. Maybe a web-based forms package that includes a simple and intuitive designer and also a process modeler. So people can make their own forms and lay out a process at a high level without having to worry about all of the super technical details right at the very beginning.
Okay, so I see what you're doing, and I like this. So if you throw in the ability to spin up a test environment so you don't give anyone the chance to like break something in production, then we've got something. We've removed inertia as an impediment, and we've eliminated the fear of not getting it absolutely right the first time.
Okay, so we seem to be pretty successful here. Let's keep going with this. Let's talk about that second tenet you mentioned. So why are visibility, accountability, and transparency so important?
Right, so when you think about the work a department does or what needs to get done to complete a business process, you're talking about the collective efforts of a team. So with Agile, you break these big projects down into smaller stories that can be completed in a short amount of time, and then you break those stories down into individual tasks that get worked on by the different members of the team. It's really important that team members know what they're supposed to do, what others are supposed to do, and what those efforts mean within the big picture. So people are more comfortable that their efforts will be noticed because they're tracked. Go back.
Sorry.
It's hard to memorize 2 days' worth. Their efforts will be tracked, and you really stop worrying about other people on the team carrying their own weight because you're all accountable to each other as a team at the end of the sprint.
Okay, so that's perfect because that's exactly what we're doing with business processes in Laserfiche 9, right? A lot of the organizations that we work with and that we talk to here at the conference, they have a pretty good idea of how their process is supposed to run. The only reason that things break down is because the people involved in the process don't really know how their actions affect other people in the process, and they don't really see how they fit into the overall picture of things. So without that, there's no visibility, there's no accountability, and there's certainly no transparency either. So using business processes in your workflows allows you to provide that level of visibility and transparency, right? By giving people the information about what they're doing within the context of the tasks that are assigned to them. You're able to tell people what they've done already, what they're supposed to do, how long they have to take action on it, and even what's supposed to happen at the end when all of these actions have been completed. So you have visibility and transparency built in, and you built very objective measurements right into the process so the people involved in the process can be held accountable to each other.
Yeah, I've got to hand it to you, Andrew. I swear you could probably relate any topic of conversation to Laserfiche 9. You know, I'll sit with you at lunch and see how you can relate the dinner or the food and that sort of thing.
I think we talked about comic books in Laserfiche version 9
comic books in Laserfiche 9, yeah. So, but what about continuous improvement now? How can you account for that?
Okay, so I think that's actually the easiest one. If you've tested out the process in forms, then made that activity, and then made the activity within the process highly visible and transparent using the business processes functionality, you're already set up for continuous improvement, right? Because built into all of that functionality is reporting tools that give you a real-time feedback loop about what's going on and how successful it is. Even better, the new dashboard functionality that we've been working on, right? That will make it really easy for people to create their own set of reports and have access to all of that data on a more regular basis.
I think you nailed it. I think with forms, business processes, this new reporting capability, Laserfiche 9 actually does give you the tools you need to introduce agility or agile into the processes that run your business. But there's still something wrong with this picture for me.
Jared, what are you talking about? I mean, this is perfect. I said something, and then I actually managed to explain how what I said made sense. This is unprecedented.
I think I explained how it made sense.
Well, details. What exactly is it that you don't understand at this point?
Well, what I don't understand is how showing Laserfiche coupled with an agile approach to continuously improve business processes is going to add up to some profound goal that we collectively can strive towards. I mean, it seems more like a means to an end than the end itself.
Jared. Everything with you always has to make sense and be correct, add up properly. You know, if you were willing to just get it close enough, you would be a lot easier to work with, man.
But I say this all the time, Andrew. Why not do it right? Let's just dig a little deeper and figure it out. Why is this agile approach we talked about so important? Why do all the different organizations have pretty much the same goal, to quickly make a significant impact on their business, whatever that business may be?
Well, I think that's obvious. The environments that we operate in are constantly changing. And more recently, the rate at which they're changing is actually increasing, right? So new technology creates change, economic conditions create change, new regulations create change, right? I could go on, but I think you get the idea of what I'm going for.
Yeah. I mean, we all know this. Our environment and the world in general is constantly changing. But what does that have anything to do with what we're talking about?
I don't know where the disconnect is here. I mean, everyone is affected by this, right? So not only do we have to keep up with change just to survive, we actually have to continuously improve the way that we do things in order to do that, right? But we also have to increase the rate in which we make those improvements as well.
All right. I'll say this again, Andrew. I really wish I knew how you do this, because obviously, you know, you believe if you keep talking, it's going to make sense and something profound will come out. But I'm still always surprised when it actually happens, and I've seen it happen a number of times. There's actually a term for what you just described, whether or not you know it. It's funny because I should have seen it earlier. With the Agile methodology, the team's focused on completing tasks related to the user stories with the highest priority. All right, so you're making progress in the right direction. And the measurement of a team member's productivity is called velocity. All right, it's the measurement of their speed and the direction they're headed in. You're saying, if I get you right, that we all need to take it one step further. We need to increase the rate of change within an organization, and that would be acceleration. So if we take everything you said that actually makes sense and distill it down.
Small amount.
Yeah. You're saying that we're all facing constantly changing environments. All right, and in order to not only survive, but to thrive and be truly successful, our goal should really be acceleration. It's not enough to just do the right things and make improvements. We need to look at the rate at which we're improving things as well.
So finally, you get what I've been trying to say this entire time, right? I swear that's what I was trying to say this entire time. The tools provided by Laserfiche 9 are really the embodiment of the agile approach. If you use them to drive continuous improvement, you can achieve acceleration, right? The acceleration needed to succeed in the constantly changing environments that we all exist in. Agility is the means to the end, and the end is acceleration. So now that we're getting close to the end here, I need to ask a favor.
Anytime.
Well, at the end of this, when we're done, we're wrapping up and we're talking about it afterwards, can you remind me of any excellent point I may have made today? Because I really wasn't prepared to make any excellent points today.
You know, I could do that, but they're recording this, and you could just watch it later.
They're recording this? Well, I have a much better question then. Does my hair look all right?
I'm glad you're focused on the right priorities.
Okay, thanks.